What superpower would you like to have? What superpowers would you like to have? I'll read them all. Enjoy the show. Story 1. The ability to travel to and back from different story realities. One day I may decide to go to the DC and the next day the Marvel universe. One day I may decide to the Yu-Gi-Oh universe. Imagine going to the Pokemon universe and catching a bunch of legendaries. Or travel to the Harry Potter universe and save Fred's life. Picture going to the Dragon Ball universe and train under King Kai. Travel with Scooby and the gang solving mysteries. The possibilities are endless. Story 2. Every time this question comes up in the reel, everyone I know says teleportation, or super speed, or telekinesis because of the convenience. The real answer is time manipulation. People who defend teleportation or super speed always say, you could get anywhere you want in the blink of an eye, and you'd never be late for anything. But think about it. If you could manipulate time, you could just pause it, grab a nap, wake up, and make your way to wherever you needed while time was paused. That's just the argument for how it would make your current life more convenient. It is a godlike ability. Story 3. Shadow Clone Jutsu from Naruto, assuming making 1 or 2 clones won't kill me. You can make corporeal, sentient clones of yourself with all your skills and knowledge. Even though that clone is sentient, it is still subservient to you. You can dismiss the clones any time, and the best part is that you gain the knowledge the clone gains after you dismiss them. So if you make a clone and have it read a book, you will know what's in that book, even though you have never read it. I can literally make a clone go to work, class, or study for me, and I can just stay at home and relax and work on my hobbies. There are downsides to the ability. You basically split your life energy in half for every clone you make, and the clones are destroyed or dismissed if they take a heavy enough blow. Those would be pretty significant downsides in a shonen anime world where you're fighting deadly ninjas and, recently, space aliens every day. But in the real world, those are pretty negligible downsides. Story 4. I'd like to open portals to any place I can visualize. I'd never have to commute again. I could make tiny portals with different condiments. I could make a fortune transporting water from where there is floods to where there is desert. I could send probes to space without a rocket. I could take the thick atmosphere of Venus and give it to Mars. I could let any group of people colonize their own planet. I could mine gold or iridium from the center of the Earth. I could send radioactive waste to a radioactive planet. If I saw certain persons giving a speech I didn't care for on television, I could pee in their pants to embarrass them. The more I think about it, the more it seems like the most useful power to have that isn't completely over the top for a superhero to have. Story 5, trust me. Teleportation is op. I can teleport to anywhere I want, in an instant. If I don't like someone, I TP. Behind him, grab him, TP to pocket dimension, and leave him there and TP back, all within just a second. That's not even the start. Story 6, flight. Without question. People who choose teleporting don't understand how fast you will die. If you don't know exactly where you are going with absolute certainty, you're going to teleport yourself into a wall or even worse, into another person and become a 2-person mutant hybrid with 4 arms, 4 legs, and 2 heads. You can't get around this by teleporting somewhere high to get a view of the area. The speed at which you fall does not change by teleporting yourself to the ground. All you would do is instantly crush yourself. Story 7. Manipulate time and space. It's the best superpower. Want to teleport? Freeze time. Get wherever you want to go. Want to basically be immortal? Freeze time and do whatever you want until you're bored. Want to win any fight? Freeze time so you can do whatever you want to them. No one could mess with you if you can manipulate time. Go to the past, see dope things, steal money, prank people. You'd never have to worry about anything ever again. Story 8. The powers of Superman. Imagine you can just fly home at super speed from the bar without paying your drinks, because you threw the bouncer 30 feet up in the air and laser beamed his legs off. You can go from NY to LA to Italia and back in like 30 minutes. Story 9. Telepathy. Not just reading minds, though. I want to make people think what I want and potentially take over their bodies like Professor X. I could make everyone think anything, such as that I could fly or teleport. I could make people think I was a magician without actually doing anything. I could patch my brain into a satellite dish and convince everyone on Earth to Venmo me $1. Story 10. The ability to absorb sickness and disease from others. Make it some kind of mass gathering. Come to this location at this time. There will be millions of people. I'll take away every sickness and ailment from you and your loved ones and give it to myself. This is my gift to you. Your second chance you've always prayed for. I'd really do it too, but I'd also fuck with everyone first and go, damn. IDK how to activate it. Story 11. If the power doesn't follow the laws of the world and require me to have some sort of understanding of biology, etc., then I'd choose shape-shifting to the point where I can turn my body to be immune to any disease, revert cells, change DNA, stuff like that. On the other hand, if I do need to know biology to be able to use it, then I'd want the superpower to be able to alter and manipulate the currencies of every country in the world. Story 12. Telekinesis sweeps. Think of something, anything, and telekinesis is your answer. Want to fly? Lift yourself up with telekinesis. Want to be super strong? Forget muscles, you can flip a semi without moving a finger. This also has practical real-life uses. I used to work in foundation repair. The amount of money I could make if I could have just blinked and moved all the dirt, set up the equipment, and push the piers to pressure in like 5 minutes is astronomical. I install insulation now. I could have an entire house batted within minutes. Telekinesis literally answers all of your problems. Edit. I've been seeing a lot of "the government would detain you" comments to some of the other powers, so this just adds to how op telekinesis is. The DEA is raiding all the houses of supers. Terry got caught flying to 7-Eleven to get a case of Bud. Little Tegan got caught turning invisible to sneak behind the bank teller's desk. Johnny got arrested shape-shifting into jewelry store employees to pocket some jewels. Meanwhile, I moved the Eiffel Tower into the Mojave Desert and no one knows what the fuck happened. Story 13. Literally just super strength, durability. There'd obviously be a learning curve with everyday life, and I'd have to be careful not to break my shower or steering wheel, but with it you can potentially jump miles at a time, save lives, work in any kind of physically demanding job if you're mindful of not being too obvious about how strong you really are. People who deserve to be thrown into outer space or literally just smacked around a little wouldn't be able to stop you. And you could absolutely bring in all the groceries in one trip, in one arm. Story 14. Unlimited funds. I would fix everything I possibly could in the world, create a sustainable business model, and lower the cost of living all around, attempt to eliminate food waste as much as possible, and work towards ending the increase of carbon emissions, etc. I would drown all of the price gouges out of business, fix healthcare systems, create affordable pharmaceuticals, fund treatments that get defunded because they would take profit from the corporate goons, ridiculous amount of money into mental health systems, toxic waste cleanup, wildlife rescue, affordable housing, buy out all the politicians that were bought out for evil, and get them to change policy for good. Honestly, don't know if it would work, but I would try. Maybe a better superpower would be to be able to just manipulate anyone who sucks to do good instead of crap. Story 15. Probably one of these teleportation, creation, time manipulation, but like it would be a doin'. And I could pick the size and I could bring someone in my time if I wanted to. Super speed, but where it won't burn my clothes every time I run and I won't get disintegrated. Also mind contour would be great, but don't forget about matter manipulation, basically creation. But it's powered by matter instead of magic. Oh, but one that would be really useful is if I watch a power in a movie or show, I would gain it like a mimic and also all knowledge, so kinda I can see into the future. Story 16. Time control is the obvious choice. You can do anything you want. It would include time travel to both the past and future, time stopping, time slowing, and time speeding. That would be insane. There would just be the risk of creating a paradox if you time traveled, but as long as you are careful, you can just do whatever you want. Story 17. Turn poop into gold and diamonds. That's both a source of income and ammunition. Imagine turning it into diamonds just as they leave my butt, and having a pipe up my ass attached to a gun special that shoots out the diamonds at people. I can rob banks with it when my butt's tired, and my shit diamonds is what funded the research, the gun, and pipes. Story 18. To give others healing power, so I don't have to heal them all the time, and to heal more people faster, the moment they, people to whom I gave power, ask for pay for their job. They get killed by pain and sickness, of all that have been healed by me, so I would personally heal the worst cases and put curse on people who ask for money. Well, curse comes automatically without you knowing that exists, so you can't play the good guy, if that makes sense. Story 19. There are so many I want, I wouldn't be able to choose just one. If I had to choose, though, I'd choose Peter Petrelli's original power from Heroes, absorbing the powers of other people just by being near them. If we're all choosing a power, I'd get a variety just walking down the street. If that power wasn't available, my primary choice would be telekinesis, so I could dress up as a Jedi and pretend I was wielding the Force. But I would also want X-ray vision, because that would make my current job so much easier. Story 20. In my opinion, traveling through time is the best superpower you could have, because it can have the effect of multiple superpowers. Want to know what someone has on their minds? Use all kinds of extreme ways to find out, and then travel through time. Want to stop crime? Let it unfold, then travel back in time and mess up their plan. Want to get filthy rich? Just wait for the next great invention to travel back in time and do it before the inventor. Your girlfriend died in an accident. Travel back in time and prevent her from getting in the car. Story 21. I've always thought shapeshifting could be the best superpower because it allows you so many things without so much responsibility. You're still yourself inside, but it allows you to have so many more experiences in so many forms. Imagine having your head scratched as a cat or feeling a tail wagging as a dog. You could never feel that as a human. Of course, you could do so many more things like getting away with crime, but I think the silly things like being someone famous for a while would make life more fun and less stressful. Also, you wouldn't feel the responsibility of using your power for good all the time. You can just get away from your life for a while and come back to it and use the power for good whenever it feels right. Also, you could hide your identity better. Story 22. Hide and seek from Hunter x Hunter. It's both teleportation and an extra-dimensional space. The limit on it is you can only make doors to places you physically touch, so no warping into like Fort Knox and stealing gold bars. But if I had that power, you bet my ass in making someone was intentional flights to New York, Paris, Cape Town, Singapore, and having like this terminal for me and my friends to see Paris for breakfast, Tokyo for lunch, and Prague for nighttime. You don't even need a hotel, the extra-dimensional space you can load up with all your beds and food. The only issue would be like water, electricity, but since I can teleport anywhere, I'll just have one of the teleporting places a gym bathroom to shower in and charge my phone. Story 23. Yep. The crazy thing is, in the field of probability, there is no such thing as a 0% chance of occurrence. Probability scientists acknowledge that there is no such thing as a 0% chance of occurrence, as you would need to know every possible variable, which would require omnipotence. You can exploit this using this power to literally be God. You can take the chance of you randomly developing Spider-Man's powers from 0+ to 100%. Apply this to literally anything. Probability is an insanely overpowered power. Story 24. Until you hear the thoughts of every person you come across, unless you have ability to control those thoughts you read or turn it on, off. Crippling anxiety, creeps sexualizing people in their head, intrusive thoughts, people with mental illness, would probably drive you insane. Story 25. Freeze time, but only to mess with one asshole. Mid-conversation, I would move one step to the side, change color shirt was wearing, be naked for fraction a second, only when he is looking so people think he's lost his shit, would hike his pants up every chance I get. Really don't like this guy. Story 26. Metamorphosis. No interest in being a superhero, but getting to change your body, heal your body, make yourself peak human best power to use in a non-hero setting. No haircuts, no shaving, don't need to buy clothes. Teleportation close second for me. Again, can use in real world, really convenient. Story 27. I can materialize whatever I want, but it can only be used for beneficial purposes. It burns a ton of calories, so I have to eat and drink to recoup. And I can only do it 1x a day. This would get us out of our current situation in 10 days. Every day I would materialize $1,000 in $100s. Husband would collect them, and by day 10, we would load this all into our chime. We then take $5, $6K, and use that to get a 2-bedroom house WT yard lease. We'd use $1,000 to pay our mechanic and pull our shit out of pawn. Another $3K would go to making the car a Type RR. The rest would be used to pay off our credit cards, and what remained from that is left alone for emergencies. After the 10 days, I would rest for a few days, then materialize clothes for the kids for a few days. Then I'd materialize a ton of weed concentrates for our nerve pain. By then, it's probably day 20 of using my power, so I'd quit for a long time, or until we had a neuter emergency. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Be sure to write comments and share your stories.